Hi everyone, I'm Alexa. Welcome to my YouTube channel. This class is for tight shoulders. So if you are someone who works at a desk all day or sits a lot during the day, what tends to happen is what's called upper cross syndrome, meaning that, and this also just happens over time as we age typically, but we tend to start to turn in, right? We lose that good posture when we're not thinking about it, and the muscles of the front body tend to tighten and shorten. Muscles of the back body tend to lengthen and become weaker over time. So we just get very tight in the front of our body, in our necks, and in our shoulders. So we're going to spend a little bit of time just kind of opening up through the top of the front body, also through the shoulders, and then just doing a little bit of neck opening too. You are going to need a strap or something similar. So that could be a scarf, a tie, a belt, maybe even a towel would be fine. And then you're also going to need 2 blocks. Alternatively, some books would be fine. And potentially you may not need them, but we are going to use them at some point. And so if you have to, great. Anything that shape and size would also be fine. So let's get started. We're just going to start seated here. And let's start by opening up just through the sides of the neck muscles. So I want you to reach your right arm out toward the right. And then with your fingertips on the mat or your hand, whatever is comfortable, and you're just going to drop your right ear toward your right shoulder. And then I want you to reach your left fingertips out toward the left. Okay, we're sitting up nice and tall. Imagine that spine is stacking nice and even, nice and tall. And then your ear isn't going to actually touch your shoulder. You're just sort of releasing your head toward that direction. Okay, so you should feel, unless you just have a tremendous amount of openness in the muscles of the neck, you should feel this stretch along the left side. Okay, and then you just want to take a couple deep breaths here. Maybe even close the eyes. Just come into the present moment. Notice how you feel. Let your day go. Anything you did earlier, things to come later. Take one more deep breath in. Breath out. And then come back to center. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. So you're going to root down through the left hand or the left fingertips. Keep that spine stacking nice and tall. Stay rooted down through the hips. And then release your left ear toward your left shoulder. Now reach your right fingertips out toward the right side. So this time we'll be feeling it along the right side. You may even feel this down a little bit further. Take a couple rounds of breath here. Nice and gentle. You're not trying to force your head further than where it goes, right? One more breath in. Breath out. Good, and then come back to center. And then let's just do a couple of rolls. So I want you to bring your right ear toward your right shoulder and then drop your chin down. So your head is sort of at a diagonal. If you're sitting cross-legged, then your forehead is sort of in line with the knee. And then continue to roll the chin down, nice and slow. And then take a pause with your chin toward your chest. Still sitting up nice and tall. Relax the shoulders. Remember to breathe through all of this work. And then slowly bring your forehead more toward in line with your left knee, and then begin to bring your left ear above your left shoulder. Back where we started. Let's just go one more time. Back the way we started. So nice and slow, draw the chin down toward the chest. And just continuously moving, but moving nice and slow. And then bringing that right ear over the right shoulder. Good. And then let's open up to the side body just for a moment. So plant your left arm down, reach your right arm up toward the sky. Maybe bring your gaze up. Make sure your right hip doesn't pop up off the ground. You want to stay rooted through the sits bones. Take a deep breath in and reach your fingertips high. And then on your exhale, reach your right fingertips toward the left side of the room. One more breath in. And then breath out, slowly release. Come back to center and we'll switch sides. Plant the right hand down, reach your left arm up. Maybe bring the gaze up, root down through the sits bones. Take a breath in, reach the fingertips high. And then exhale, reach your left fingertips toward the right side of the room. One more deep breath in. Breath out. And then slowly come back to center. Okay, last thing we're gonna do here seated is open up a little bit with the strap. So if you have a strap, great. Grab your belt, your scarf, anything you have about this shape and size. Okay, and then bring your strap out in front of you. You want your hands a little wider than shoulder width apart, but then keep them at the height of the shoulders, okay? As you take a breath in, reach the arms overhead. Relax the shoulders down. This may be where you stay today. This may feel like enough for you. If you want to go a little bit further, you can begin to bring the arms slightly behind you. Just opening up a little bit more through the chest, through the shoulders. Let's take 2 more rounds of breath wherever you are. Good, 1 more. Good, and then very slowly come back in front, and then you can set the strap to the side. Good. Now we're gonna move on to our hands and knees and take puppy pose. So you're gonna start in all fours or on all fours, shoulders stack over wrists, hips above the knees. Scooch back a little bit on the mat. Hips are above the knees, and then unhook the toes so you can press the shins into the mat just a little bit. And then begin to walk your hands forward toward the front of your mat. And you want to bring your forehead down toward the mat. And if that doesn't feel good, just bring a blanket or a pillow or something that's comfortable. But you want to keep the neck in line with the spine. And then for some of you, you may be able to bring the chin to the mat and bring your gaze forward between the thumbs. And make sure you keep the hips stacked above the knees. So really great shoulder opening pose. Imagine that heart space getting a little closer to the mat. Come back to your breath. Inhale and exhale through the nose. Two more rounds. Last one, deep breath in. Breath out. And then at the bottom of that exhale, slowly, gently begin to come back up. Walk the hands back toward the body. Okay, now we are going to use our blocks. So this also can be used without blocks. Just want to try this and see how it feels for you. Everyone is going to be a little bit different. So you can do this same movement without blocks, or you have a couple of different heights. I really recommend this height. And sometimes when you get to these taller heights, we tend to lose a little bit of that balance. And we're just looking for a little bit of opening, nothing too intense here. So you want to bring your blocks about shoulder width apart. And then you're going to bring your elbows to the blocks. Bring your hands toward one another, okay? From here, essentially like puppy pose, you may have to walk your knees back or forward depending on where your hips are. Just take a moment to find the alignment that works for you. And then you can allow the head to come down in between the blocks. Press the palms together. And this is a great shoulder opener for me. I can feel this working. I can feel this opening. If you need a little bit more, you can continue to bring the heart space down toward the mat. You can find maybe a different height, which will raise the blocks a little higher, make it a little bit more intense. And again, you can do this exact same motion and still get some shoulder opening just in your child's pose. So making the same shape, but just finding something that works for you. Let's take 3 more rounds of breath here. And 1 more. Deep breath in. Breath out. And then slowly release. And coming out of it nice and gently. Good. Sit back on the heels. Set your blocks to the side. And then we will counter that with a nice twist called thread the needle. So we're going to stay in that position of hands and knees. And I want you to reach your left arm out toward the left side of you. Okay, so take a deep breath in here. And then on your exhale, you're going to sweep your left arm underneath the body and come onto the side of the shoulder. And then you can rest the forehead or side of the face rather on the mat. So you have a couple options here. You can keep supporting the body with this right hand into the mat. You want to make sure that you're not applying any pressure with the head. It's really all in to the shoulder. It's a nice twist, gentle twist, and opener for the shoulders. You can also reach your right fingertips forward, or maybe you can twist just a little deeper, take a half bind, bring the hand to the small of the low back, or reach around for the top of the left thigh. Let's stay here for 2 more rounds of breath. Last one. And then slowly release. You're going to plant the palm and then gently rise back up. Open up one more time. And then release back to tabletop position. I'm going to switch to the other side just so you can see me a little bit better. So we're going to do the same thing on the other side. This time with the right arm, reach the right arm out, take a breath in. And then exhale, sweep the right arm underneath the body. Coming onto the shoulder, resting the side of the head onto the mat. You can keep the left palm planted. You can reach it forward, or you can take that half bind. Anything that works for you. Couple rounds of breath here. And again, you are really letting the shoulder absorb this rather than the head. One more deep breath in. Breath out. And then slowly begin to press up. Inhale, reach the right arm high. And then exhale, release back to your tabletop pose. We are going to do some spine strengtheners just to open up through the front body, okay? So I want you to come all the way down onto your belly and then zip up the legs, press the tops of the feet down, and then just start by bringing your arms to your sides. So you're going to press your hands, the palms of your hands, down into the mat. You want your thumbs facing out, palms down. And then take an inhale, just begin to lift the front body, the heart space, up off the mat, and then float the arms up and reach the arms back. So super important here that you're not sending the gaze forward, but rather down so you keep the neck in line with the spine. Draw the shoulders down and back. Take 1 more breath in. Breath out, release. Bring one ear to the mat, kick the heels in, windshield wiper the feet. Good, we're gonna take that one more time. Option 2, stay with the arms by your sides, or maybe interlace the hands behind the back. Just an option if that's accessible. Take a breath in and lift up. Again, keep the gaze down the bridge of the nose. And then if you want it, you can also float the feet here for locust pose. If you're floating the feet, reach the toes back behind you, but then reach the crown of the head forward toward the front of the mat. Okay, take one more breath in. And then breath out, release. Bring the opposite ear to the mat, and then windshield wiper the feet. One more round. This time we're going to take bow pose. Just an option. You can repeat exactly what we just did if you'd rather do that. So you have some options. Otherwise, kick your feet in. You want your knees about hips distance apart. If it's accessible, reach around for the tops of the feet. If you have to strain to reach around for the tops of the feet, skip this. Repeat what we just did without reaching for the tops of the feet. Okay? Inhale, lift the heart space. Then on your exhale, kick your feet into your hands. Keep the knees about hips distance apart. Find your breath. Nice gentle opening of the front body, of the shoulders. One more deep breath in. Breath out, release. And then windshield wiper the feet side to side. Good, and then press the palms underneath the shoulders and come up. And then let's just take a child's pose to counter that. Sink the hips back toward the heels, reach the fingertips forward. Take a few more rounds of breath. In through the nose, out through the nose. And then slowly begin to come up. Good. We're going to do a couple more shoulder openers here. We're going to take eagle arms, and this can be done seated on the knees. Can also be done in a easy seat with legs crossed. If you're familiar with yoga and want to do some hip opening or anything like that, you can take this in a low lunge as well. So you have some options. So you're going to bring your arms out in front of you, and then I want you to cross your right arm underneath your left. So left elbows crossed on top of right. Bend into the elbows and then reach the palms for one another. If this isn't accessible today, bring your hands to the tops of the shoulder heads. Works just the same, okay? So palms are pressing together. I want you to keep your elbows in line with your shoulders and slightly send the outside edge of that left forearm of the left pinky a little bit forward. Keep the shoulders down, but keep the elbows in line with the shoulders. So you probably feel a little bit of opening at the scapula, so shoulder blade area on the left side and the right side. You just want to take a couple of rounds of breath here. Good. One more breath in. And breath out. Slowly release. Good. And then just roll the shoulders a couple of times, both directions, loosening that up. Take the same thing on the other side. Eagle arms, also known as Garudasana in Sanskrit. Stack your left arm underneath your right this time, and then cross at the elbows. Either reach for the tops of the shoulder heads, which if you're staying here, perfectly fine. Reach the elbows forward, but keep them in line with the shoulders. Otherwise, bring the hands to touch, palms together. Send the forearms forward. Sitting nice and tall. And even though we are in a seated position working on some upper body opening, you still want to keep the core engaged. Good, one more round of breath. and then slowly release. And then we have got one more with the strap. So I want you to grab your strap. Next is what's called Gomukhasana or cow face. I'm gonna demonstrate the cow face upper body and lower body. If the lower body does not feel good, just do the upper body. Otherwise, you can also practice lower body with a block too. So we're going to stack left knee on top of right knee, and then bring your heels in toward the sides of the hip. Okay, this may not feel good. If it doesn't feel good, don't do it. Okay, you can also bring a blanket or a block underneath the hips. So anytime you elevate the hips, it will take the intensity out slightly. So you can try that, or just stay cross-legged if this doesn't feel good. This is great for hips, hamstrings, IT band, and a great addition to doing cow face in the upper body if it feels good for your body, okay? And then you're going to take your strap over your right shoulder. Okay, reach your right arm toward the sky, and then bend into the elbow and give yourself a little pat on the back. So right now my hand is touching behind my right shoulder. Take your left arm out to the side and then bring your thumb down, sweep your hand around and grab that strap with the left hand. Okay, you may be able to touch fingertips here. I'm going to turn around so you can see. All right, so you may be able to touch fingertips, in which case you might not need the strap. Otherwise, let your right hand reach for the strap, let your left hand reach for the strap. Okay, so you have some options there. What you want to focus on in this pose is really staying open and lifted in the upper body. So your right elbow is reaching high, and then shoulders are softening. We're not reaching the right shoulder up or tensing, letting the shoulders and the neck stay relatively soft. Right elbow toward the sky, grow the spine nice and long, you're sitting nice and tall. And then let's stay here for 2 more rounds of breath. One more deep breath in. Breath out. And then slowly release, shake out, switch the legs. Okay, right on top of left this time. Feeling that nice stretch through the right IT band. And then we're switching to put that strap over our left shoulder. Okay, option to sit cross-legged, option to sit on a block. Whatever you did the first side, same thing on the second side. Okay, left arm up this time. Bend into the left elbow, reach around to the top of the left shoulder or the back, and then reach for the strap if you need it. And then reach your right arm out toward the side, thumb facing down, and then just bend the elbow, reach around for the strap, or maybe touch fingertips. Okay, sitting nice and tall, reach the left elbow up toward the sky. And then there's sort of an internal rotation here. So there's a tendency, especially if we have tight shoulders, to compensate for what we're feeling and let that elbow splay out. You really want to spin the tricep internally toward the body. And then it might be different on this side. So no 2 sides of the body are the same. So if you feel this differently than you did on the first side, just know that that's normal. Sitting nice and tall, come back to your breath. Let that inhale travel to the deepest part of the belly. One more breath in. Breath out. And then slowly release. Set the strap to the side. Give yourself just a little shoulder roll there. And come back to a comfortable seat. And then we'll just take a gentle twist to finish. So we're gonna twist toward the right, bring your left hand to the top of the right knee, and then kickstand the right hand behind you. Sitting nice and tall. Deep breath in, breath out. One more, inhale. And exhale. Slowly release. Come back to center. Other side, inhale. Sit nice and tall. Exhale, twist to the left. Right hand to the left knee. Kickstand the left hand behind you. Tune into the breath. Inhales, lengthen. And exhale, twist it out. One more deep breath in. Breath out. And then release towards center. Great job. I hope you feel nice and open. If you have time, maybe take a 3-minute Shavasana. And if not, we'll see you next time. If you like this video, please hit the like button. Hit subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. If you have any comments or questions or requests, please comment in the section below. And I'll see you soon. Namaste.